So you should be able to see that in the chat now. And I'm just applying a little bit under my eyes and letting that soak in. And then anything extra, I like to put on the top of my brow bone as well, just for a little bit of extra hydration. But this eye serum, and a little bit goes a long way, so you don't need to like cake it on. There's a couple reasons I prefer, I think, the serum to a cream. I don't know if any of you have experienced this. Let me know in the chat if you have, but sometimes I'll put on an eye cream, and then if I put on makeup or other products on top of it, it just starts to kind of pill and like peel off, and you're like, okay, I wasted all of that product because it's coming off, and also like that sucks. Like I don't want it to all come off. I really don't like when my products pill or like feel too heavy on my face. So with a serum, you're really just getting the nutrients applied to your under eye area without all of it kind of like peeling off in 10 minutes or anything like that. So it does soak in really, really quickly. I will note this serum, which is awesome, targets kind of like the dark under eye, which is something that I definitely struggle with on skincare concerns. Really helps with extra hydration and those signs of fatigue that I mentioned before. For anyone that just joined, we're just talking about Indie Lee's I-Waken Eye Serum. Definitely provides that hydration boost that your under eye needs. And Indie Lee only uses clean ingredients. So they actually have like a huge list of, I think it's like 140 ingredients that they will never include in their skincare, but that includes parabens, phthalates, and so many other just like nasty no ingredients that you don't want like anywhere near your skincare. I'm always a clean skincare freak. So especially with the eye area that's so delicate, you don't want to put anything like too harsh on there at all. So this one's really gentle and nourishing and has ingredients like witch hazel and chamomile and horse chestnut, which have all different kinds of function, but really helps hydrate the under eye area without doing anything too harsh. Provides the extra moisture and it really helps with fine lines. I use it personally morning and night. Again, I think it's a really good daytime eye product because it doesn't create that pilling under your eyes. And then it also doesn't all like rub off later. So really, really love this product. And if anyone has any questions about the eye serum, let me know. But another kind of skincare education topic that I'll add in is kind of how you order your skincare, because this is a question we get a lot, and I get a lot personally from people with like starting out with skincare. It's like, how do you know what order to do all of your products in? Especially with eye creams, people are always a little bit unsure. But kind of rule of thumb that you should always remember with anything in your skincare routine when you're adding in something new is thinnest to thickest. So thinking about how your kind of skin would absorb products, our skin's a little porous, so it absorbs some of what we put into it or onto it, absorbs it in. It can't really imagine like a drain clog. I know it's not cute for picturing your skin, but if you put something like a piece of paper on top of it, it's going to be really hard for the next thing that you put on top of it to come to get through it. So you want to put the thinnest things on bottom closest to your skin and then layer on the thicker ingredients on top. So typically that would be that toner, essence, which I showed you guys at the beginning, which is just like a product I use personally, not part of what I'm doing today necessarily. And that is basically water. So it absorbs super, super quickly. Then your essences, which are essentially the same. Next, you would go serums. Serums are basically targeted treatments that typically have like a somewhat watery, quite absorbent texture, which is what this eye serum would be. It's not an all over face serum, but the texture still lends itself to that. Let me see if I can show it to you. I don't know if I can. You won't be able to see it, but it's a really thin kind of runny texture. It's not fully like a cream. Definitely not going to let any of this go to waste. Definitely not a cream texture. If it was an eye cream, I would apply it later. But again, because it is that really kind of thin sort of texture, I want it to absorb really well without anything blocking it. And then after serums is when you would throw on your moisturizer. A moisturizer would be any kind of cream moisturizer. So that could be a cream, a gel, anything that you like to use. And then if you are using an eye cream versus an eye serum, I personally prefer an eye serum for some of the reasons I said before. You would throw that on as well. And then if you're doing your daytime routine, you would add on your layer of SPF, which is 100% essential. If you know me, you know I will bully all of my friends into wearing sunscreen, but that's a good kind of bullying. And then if you're not doing your daytime routine and you're doing a nighttime routine, yes, I just saw a heart there. Maybe by someone who's been bullied by me to wear sunscreen. But then if you're doing your PM routine, which is what I'm doing today, instead of SPF, you can add in an oil. So there's a bunch of differences between kind of a moisturizer, like a cream, and oils, but basically moisturizers help deliver moisture to your skin by adding things that your skin absorbs, and oils function more as a protective barrier. So it really helps like seal in moisture. And this helps me jump into the next two products I'll be talking about. But first, for anyone who's just joining, my name is Martina, and I'm talking about some products that I love from the indie clean skincare brand Indie Lee, and just going through my nighttime skincare routine. And as always, if you have any questions about skincare or the products I'm speaking out about, please feel free to drop them in the chat so I can answer those questions. But oils provide kind of a protective barrier for your skin and also help seal in all the moisture and nutrients that you're trying to get your skin to absorb. And I think there's a common like misconception that if you have like oily skin, you might not need oils or something like that, but everyone's skin needs oil. If you have oily skin and you over dry your skin, you might actually like force your skin to be creating more oil than it actually means to. So it's really common that we'll try to like dry out our skin, and then to counteract that, our skin will jump in and combat back and like create a bunch of extra oil. And then you're like, wait, I'm oily. Like, why is my skin an oily skin type or whatever? So make sure that you're actually giving your skin enough hydration, because that will give you a better idea of if you have an actually oily skin type or if you're accidentally making your skin produce a ton of extra oil because you're not giving it like the essential hydration that it needs. So that's always just a good thing to remember. If your skin's like getting extra oily or acting out, there might be something that is happening to cause that. But two oils that I really, really love from Indie Lee. One is the squalene facial oil, and then the other is the daily vitamin infusion. But before I put those on, I'm going to put on my moisturizer. So this one's from Shafali, but this is just a really nice evening moisturizer, really light. For a moisturizer, you need kind of like, I would say, a dime-sized amount if you're doing just your face, and then maybe a little bit more if you're doing your neck and décolletage. But just going to put on my moisturizer, and then I'll jump into my oils. So remember again that thinnest to thickest order that we talked about earlier. So a cream, while the texture is thicker, like when you look at it, an oil absorbs less quickly than a moisturizer does. So we would apply it after a moisturizer when we're doing our skincare order. Okay, so now that I have my moisturizer on, which I apply super gently, you can do your neck and chest too. Jump into an oil. So I have two that I really love from Indie Lee, and I actually use them both. I have super dry skin, so you don't necessarily need to use two yourself, but hopefully you can find one oil that you love that you can either add into your daytime skincare routine and like your moisturizer to make your foundation look extra glowy, or that you're using it at night for kind of that nice boost. And I saw that a couple people joined, sorry about that. And we're just talking about Indie Lee and my nighttime skincare routine. A little bit earlier, we talked about the eye serum, which is incredible. And now we're jumping into the squalene oil and the daily vitamin infusion. So first with the daily vitamin infusion, that is this one. It kind of has this more yellow tone, and then the squalene oil is a little bit more like translucent. But this oil is super, super cool. I actually haven't seen this in any other oil personally, but it's a mixture of both vitamin C, which is kind of a serum, and an oil moisturizer. So it kind of delivers you with a 1-2 punch of nutrients for your skin. The first is vitamin C, and vitamin C is an ingredient in skincare that basically helps your skin regenerate more quickly and slough away dead skin cells to make your skin look brighter and glowier, um, which is something that your skin needs. We all want some sort of like exfoliation because that helps with brightening and dullness. But you don't necessarily need to do that with like a harsh scrub or I don't know, something else harsh like a retinol. You can do that with other ingredients like vitamin C. And it actually really helps with kind of, like I mentioned, brightening and dullness. But if you have acne scarring or dark spots or anything like that, fine lines, it helps with all of those things to kind of help regenerate new skin cells and kind of slough away the dead ones and bring up the like beautiful new glowing ones. So super cool to have a moisturizer that has both purposes, because sometimes for some people, if you have more sensitive or dry skin, vitamin C or any other sort of active ingredient delivered on its own can be somewhat just like tough for your skin to handle. So delivered with a moisturizer, like an oil, does make it a little bit more easy for more sensitive and dry skin to manage. So I'm going to go in with this one first, and I'm going to just do like a little drop on each side of my face, and a reminder to not touch the dropper to your face, just to keep your skincare products hygienic. I'm also going to send the products so you guys can